Breaking news, KCRH8 reporting for our headquarters in New York on a developing catastrophe coming out of Virginia Tech University in Virginia earlier today, where a shooter has opened fire on campus. Early reports describe the shooter as senior Sung Hoi Cho. Thus far, not much is known about the shooting, but our affiliates are working hard to gain information. We go now to the press conference with Chief of Police Wendell Filchum, the man in charge of handling the reaction to the shooting. Today, on April 16, 2007, senior Sung Hoi Cho opened fire on Virginia Polytech Institute and State University. Cho shot and killed 32 people in two separate attacks and injured 17 more. The first two victims were shot in West Ambler Johnston Hall around 7:15. Sadly, we lost freshman Emily J. Hischler and senior Ryan C. Clark. About 2 hours after the first shooting, Cho went back to Norris Hall and chained the three main entrance halls shut. He left a note on one of the chain doors claiming that if any attempt to enter the building would cause a bomb to explode. Cho began shooting at 9:40 a.m. The first call to 911 happened at 9:42 a.m. He went to rooms 206, 207, 211, and 204. After going to all four rooms, he reloaded and revisited several of them. Afterwards, he went to room 205, but students were able to barricade the door with a large table after substitute Professor Chang and other students saw Cho coming from down the hall. No one in room 205 was injured or killed. 10 to 12 minutes after the second attack started, Cho shot and killed himself. Do you know the motives behind Cho's actions? We are currently looking into Mr. Cho's background to try and determine his motives for this attack. Why wasn't the entire campus locked down after the first shooting? The information we had on the first incident led us to make the decision that it was an isolated event to that building, and the decision was made to not cancel classes. Is there anything that could have prevented this tragedy from happening? We are currently investigating into how this could have been prevented, but early examinations show that no cameras were posted in either outside of either of the locations that Cho entered. Now we go to the president, where he was about to make a statement regarding these attacks. Governor, thank you. President Steiger, thank you very much. Students and faculty, staff, and grieving family members, and members of this really extraordinary place. I've come to Blacksburg today with hearts full of sorrow. This is a day of mourning for the Virginia Tech community. This is a day of sadness for our entire nation. We come to express our sympathy in this time of anguish, and I hope you know that people all over this country, all over this great nation, are thinking about you and asking God to provide comfort for all who have been affected. Those whose lives were taken did nothing to deserve their fate. They were simply in the wrong place at the wrong time. Now they're gone. And they leave behind grieving families, grieving classmates, and a grieving nation. People who have never met you are praying for you, and they're praying for your friends who have fallen and who were injured. There's a power in these prayers, real power. In times like this, we can find comfort in the grace and guidance of a loving God. And on this terrible day in the morning, it's hard to imagine that a time will come when life at Virginia Tech will return to normal. But such a day will come. And when it does, you will always remember the friends and teachers who were lost yesterday, and the time you shared with them, and the lives that hope to lead. May God bless you. May God bless and keep the souls of the lost. And may His love touch all those who suffer and grieve. Now, exclusive to KCRH, an interview with one of the survivors, substitute Professor Chang. Yeah, so we were all just sitting there in class. It was a normal day, just early morning classes. Kids were kind of tired, and we heard a sort of like a loud clap, and students kind of looked around. They looked at me, and I didn't know what it was. It was just one of my first times subbing here at Virginia Tech. So I go out to the hall. I look around. I'm like, hey, man, what was that? What was that noise? And I see him. I see Cho coming. He has a gun. I immediately go back into the class and I tell the students that we need to barricade this door. So without hesitation, me and some of the stronger guy students took tables and we just put them all against the door. We took chairs and we put them against the door, and we barricaded. And then Cho tried to enter. He tried. He shot through the door a couple times. Luckily, it didn't hit any of us. We were all safe. Do I consider myself a hero for my actions? No. It's what anybody would do in my position. That's really all I got time for. I need to go. Thank you.
Go.
Our coverage will continue on the Virginia Tech attacks, but until then, we wish you all a good night. God bless.